What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised. With the arrival of the next 365 days and the very confusing ending, fans are eagerly waiting for Netflix's announcement of the fourth movie. The 365 Days was a collection of erotic thrillers that follow Laura, a hostage, who is taken by the mafia boss Massimo. Although Massimo gave Laura a year to fall in love with him, the 365-day movies didn't stick to this plot point for the entirety of their narrative. Massimo's evil twin brother, a competing mafia boss, Laura's second love interest, who was portrayed as a gardener, and a variety of other absurd plot elements that were all introduced in the sequel 365 Days This Day. As a result, some viewers were taken aback when the next 365 days abruptly ended the show. The ending of the next 365 days didn't rely on any shocking twists or silly high drama. In contrast to the finales of 365 Days and 365 Days This Day, the majority of the next 365 days, on the other hand, focused on Laura's indecision about whether to stay with Massimo or go back to her love interest, the above-mentioned rival mafia member / fake gardener, Nacho. Laura seems to choose Massimo in the end, but the unclear conclusion leaves a lot of room for sequels. So it is entirely possible that Netflix will create 365 Days 4 in the future. The more explicit 365-day movies were based on a series of novels, just like the competing erotic thriller series 50 Shades of Grey. The 365-day movies, in contrast to the self-contained sagas of 50 Shades of Grey, leave the door open for a potential sequel. In the third and currently final installment of the series, Laura somehow makes it through the brutal shooting at the end of the second movie. She then proceeds to work through her problems with Massimo while also engaging in a hot affair behind Massimo's back. A lot of drama. At the end of the next 365 days, Laura appears to choose Massimo over Nacho, but there's no guarantee that she'll stick with her decision. With the conclusion of the next 365 days, Netflix's controversial 365 Days trilogy, some viewers have started to speculate about the possibility of a 365 Days 4 in the near future. Although the 365 Days films received mixed reviews from critics, they were a huge hit with viewers all around the world. There appears to be no plans to continue the film series as of the next 365 Days August 2022 release date. The book series by the Polish author served as the inspiration for the Netflix movie series. The third movie is an adaptation of the third book, and both of them conclude Laura and Massimo's romance in different ways. Despite this, it's still possible that Netflix would like to explore the fourth movie. The next 365 Days unclear ending scene also suggests that Laura and Massimo's story may have more to tell. The tale of Laura and Nacho as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be another film, but as of right now, it doesn't appear that one is in the works. The franchise has been controversial and critically panned since its inception, so there isn't necessarily a compelling reason for Netflix to continue producing these films. They do seem to attract a lot of views though, so if the viewing numbers are high enough, the streamer might decide to support the fourth film. The 2-year gap between 365 Days and its follow-up 365 Days This Day raises the chances that a fourth film is in the works. If it happens at all, we might have to wait until 2024 to see Laura and Massimo again, given that Netflix typically bases its decision on a movie or a TV show's performance over the first 28 days. We might not have to wait too long to find out whether there will be a new 365 Days movie from the streaming service. If a fourth 365 Days film were to be made, Anna Marie Sieklucka and Michele Morrone, who play Laura and Massimo, would undoubtedly return. Considering that Nacho, played by Simone Susana, was essentially taken on the role of the third lead in the series, it makes sense that he would return as well, especially given that, depending on his choices, he might play a bigger role in Laura's future. The other actors who might have appeared in every movie to date are also likely candidates for future roles. Before we go any further, we wanted to let you know that it's time for you to smash that like button if you haven't done it already. While Odar Serdalis' role in the third film was relatively small, he would return as Olga's fiancé, and Massimo's right-hand man, Domenico. Magdalena Lamparska will return as Laura's best friend, Olga. Ua and Darius, who played Laura's parents, Clara and Tomasz, in the third film, would return to reprise their roles as cameos. Who knows, perhaps we'll also see a few fresh faces.
The war between our families will be bloody, and no one will emerge victorious from it.
While Laura may have survived this day's shocking finale, the events of the sequel have undoubtedly had a significant impact on Laura and Massimo's relationship. Laura's doing her best to move on, even telling Nacho to forget about her, but it appears Massimo can't. Beyond a few brief mentions, there is no more discussion of Laura's gunshot wound from the previous film. She has since healed. Because of the failing state of her relationship with Massimo, Laura decides to resume her career. As Laura begins to re-enter the world of fashion, Nacho reappears, leaving her conflicted. How will Laura decide to continue? Will she stay with the abusive, controlling, and toxic Massimo? Or will she move on to date a rival gangster Nacho? Or should she just sail away from those toxic men and continue on her own? Let's just focus on the final moments as if there is a fourth film, and that will be the point that is continued. Laura reunites with Massimo on the beach after Nacho promises to wait for her. Given that he knows about her beach bonk with Nacho, she probably expects him to be furious, and he's actually quite calm. He expresses his grief over the fact that she felt she couldn't talk to him about the loss of their baby, and brings up a quote from a book his father read to him as a child. Laura tells Massimo that he had a wonderful father and that he will be one day. And as they stare lovingly at each other, Massimo asks if she is back, but there was no response. So the 365 Days trilogy concludes with this unanswered question. Before the further drama in their relationship, the fourth film could begin with Laura having already decided between Massimo and Nacho. That is, after all, the question, isn't it? On the one hand, Nacho has been supportive of Laura's journey and has made it clear that he cares about Laura. However, he lies about his background and is a rival gangster, further complicating things. Massimo, meanwhile, has been toxic, controlling, and bad news since the first movie. In an ideal world, Laura would choose neither and walk off into the sunset alone. But if we had to guess, it would have to be Nacho. This decision might start a significant gang war before seeing Nacho as a ruthless villain and shifting focus back to Massimo. And given that the third movie was largely free of this aspect of the plot, it's possible that a later movie will once again focus more on the two men's mafia interactions. The wedding of Olga and Domenico, whose relationship barely received a mention in the third movie, might also serve as a central focus of the fourth film. A wedding would be the ideal place for anyone to express their emotions, which could lead to more drama. Blanka Lipińska, the author of 365 Days, has an idea for where to take her story next. Following in the footsteps of other romance authors such as Stephanie Meyer and E.L. James, she said you need to smash that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. No, but seriously, in an interview, she said that she isn't quite ready to say goodbye to Massimo and that she wants to start a new story from start to end, but this time from Massimo's point of view. See you in the next video.